被吸水蒙气雨后，你却连问都好。
The Sun-Moon Empire had been planning to launch a war on the continent, but Huo Yuhao's actions disrupted all their plans. To some extent, Huo Yuhao was responsible for the destruction of almost an entire city, the capital of the Sun-Moon Empire. How did this happen? During the Mechanist tournament and a secret deal to purchase soul tools, Huo Yuhao discovered an underground warehouse belonging to the Empire, storing countless rare metals and tools. Naturally, he couldn't miss the chance to loot the enemy empire. Huo Yuhao waited for the perfect moment when great titled Douluos were fighting above the city. It was a legendary battle. Long Xiaoyao of rank 99 against Elder Xian of rank 98 and Du Busi of the Body Sect, also rank 98. At this time, Huo Yuhao, along with Wang Donger, Xiao Xiao, and Wang Qiu'er, secretly infiltrated the underground warehouse. Using his mental avatar and the skill of imitation, Huo Yuhao concealed himself and his companions, slipping past the guards unnoticed. This place was critically important to the Sun-Moon Empire, with many soul tool traps installed for security. Descending several hundred meters underground via a massive lift, they encountered enemy mechanists along the way, whom Wang Qiu'er swiftly eliminated. There were 3 enormous storage levels. The first contained chests and crates filled with various rare metals, over 10,000 tons. However, soul tools were used for protection in this area, and even the workers on the site didn't fully understand how the defense mechanisms and traps functioned. Hence, Huo Yuhao and his team proceeded cautiously. On the second level, they found over 30 types of rare metals, far more valuable than those on the first level. They immediately began storing as much as possible in their soul storage tools. Huo Yuhao aimed to take only the most precious items. His Starlight Sapphire storage tool held significantly more but filled up quickly. What they saw on the third level astonished them. Rows of soul tools, including massive grade 4 soul cannons, thousands of them, alongside crates of sealed milk bottles, and even stationary grade 7 soul cannons. It was enough to equip an entire army. Huo Yuhao and his companions took as much as they could and left a parting gift, a timed explosive device. Unfortunately, Huo Yuhao did not know there was another storage facility beneath this warehouse. A few hours later, their infiltration was discovered. The head mechanic, a Class 9 expert, inspected what had been stolen. The losses were immeasurable, not just in monetary terms but in strategic resources, as Huo Yuhao had taken all the tools and milk bottles crucial for the enemy army. Then, the timed explosive device Huo Yuhao had left behind was activated. A red light shot into the sky. A terrifying explosion rocked the underground warehouse. Everyone felt the ground tremble beneath their feet. In one corner of Radiant City, entire buildings and structures collapsed and sank as stones and debris were hurled into the sky. In the next moment, the earth roared furiously. A colossal mushroom cloud rose into the air, accompanied by an unprecedented explosive force. It seemed as though hell itself had descended upon Radiant City. The devastating underground explosion engulfed a third of the continent's greatest city in an instant, with powerful shockwaves shaking the entire city. Tons of rubble and dust flew in all directions as millions of shards and fragments filled the sky. The ground churned in the air as scorching and horrifying shockwaves spread through the city. The impact was beyond anything even grade 9 soul tools could achieve. The entirety of Radiant City, the Empire's capital, shuddered and crumbled under the explosion. Over 10 million people had gathered in the city from across the continent to participate in or witness the tournament. But a third of Radiant City had collapsed. How many lives had those terrifying shockwaves claimed? On that day, the sky over the continent was dark and grim, and the world was forever changed. Huo Yuhao was the cause of all this, though even he had not anticipated such a terrifying outcome. At that moment, Huo Yuhao's face was pale. Elder Xian immediately appeared behind him, and he Kai-Tu amidst a storm of stones and debris, grabbed them, and carried them away to safety. Elder Xian was shocked. "Did you do this?" Huo Yuhao bitterly replied. Yes. He hadn't expected such a catastrophic explosion, one that nearly obliterated all of Radiant City. Huo Yuhao naturally understood the pain in Elder Xian's voice. An explosion like this would take countless lives. It was a true massacre. The death toll must have been at least tens of thousands. And he was the cause. At that moment, the the tournament's finale became utterly meaningless. Yet Huo Yuhao had achieved one thing. This massive explosion, later known to future generations as the Dark Day of Destruction, undoubtedly delayed the Sun-Moon Empire's plans to conquer the continent. Huo Yuhao, the universal soldier, had reached a level of destructiveness unparalleled in human history. In the future, Huo Yuhao would be known as the Eye of Asura, and the term Asura in his title originated from this terrifying explosion. Even great titled Douluos of ranks 98 and 99 could not comprehend how such an event had occurred. Prince Su Tianran stared in horror at the colossal mushroom cloud and the devastation surrounding him. The palace, located in the city center, was not as severely affected. The empire suffered massive losses, particularly in structures and buildings. The Imperial Mechanist Academy was completely destroyed, as were the underground facilities of the Hall of Virtuous Achievements. Elder Xian's face was as dark as could be. Most of the people from Shrek Academy did not know what had happened. Wang Donger, Wang Qiuer, and Xiao Xiao knew the truth. They were the ones who had planted the timed explosive device. Huo Yuhao had intentionally damaged the lift and gates before leaving the underground warehouse. Everything had gone according to his calculations. He had made no mistakes and had been exceptionally precise, even with the timed explosive device. The only thing he had not foreseen was the scale and impact of the ensuing explosion. The bomb had been placed beneath the remaining ammunition for the soul cannons. There were at least tens of thousands of shells they couldn't take. Huo Yuhao's goal was simple: to destroy the underground warehouse and ensure that the explosion vaporized all the rare metals and low-grade soul tools they couldn't take. This way, the Sun-Moon Empire's invasion plans would be delayed due to the enormous losses. According to Huo Yuhao's calculations, the explosion would have only spread within a kilometer because the detonation point was 100 meters underground. But Huo Yuhao had no idea there was another underground warehouse beneath the Hall of Virtuous Achievements. This warehouse was even more protected and guarded than the one they had found. It contained a total of 16 Grade 9 soul cannons. The explosion of 16 Grade 9 tools, in addition to tens of thousands of soul cannon shells below Grade 5, created this catastrophe in Radiant City. The Dark Day of Destruction. It was a day the Sun-Moon Empire would never forget. But was Huo Yuhao truly to blame? That's another question. What do you think? Write in the comments. And what happened next? Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and see you next time.